Welcome to Juan Zephyrs, episode number 6. We're going to get right into some free agency analysis in the 2022 offseason. Next, with my special advisor, pfholden, GM Pat. We're coming back right after this to start getting the Zephs ready to hopefully stick with Major League Baseball. Okay, let's get into it. That's a busy man. He's got about 45 minutes to dive into this stuff with us. I thought this would be fun to do because, one, I could use the help. I want to make sure this time after getting promoted, if you're new to this series, the San Juan Zephyrs are a baseball team that started in the Premier Baseball League. That's a fictional baseball league that I created below Major League Baseball and introduced promotion and relegation. So each season, the two worst teams in the AL and the two worst teams in the NL from Major League Baseball get relegated, and 4 teams from the Premier Baseball League get promoted. So the Zephyrs have been promoted again. They were promoted once after the first season when they won the championship, and then like all 4 teams that were promoted, they got knocked right back down. And then this season, after their first season back in the PBL, they won the championship again. So we are headed back to Major League Baseball along with 3 other teams. And thanks to everybody who jumps into the comments here each time. We've got some comments rolling already, and we appreciate it. I think that's one of my favorite parts. Definitely one of my favorite parts. It's just interacting with everybody. So that's why I like to do this as a live stream. So in addition to needing some help for the Zephyrs, I thought it would be good to get Pat to talk about this topic because he gets a lot of questions about this in his own YouTube videos. He does a lot of tutorials on OOTP, and if you don't already know about those, you should check out his channel at youtube.com/pfholden. So let's dive into it. I'm going to pull the Zephs into the stream here, and I haven't talked to Pat about this much, except I told him I had about $38 million to spend right now. And I talked to him about how we have to do a lot of work on our pitching, particularly our starting pitching.
I don't know much about the team, but I'm not sure what could be wrong with the pitching staff with Lewis Thorpe as your number 1 starter.
Oh, he's not a solid number 1 in the majors?
Seems good to go to me.
So our number 1 starter from the PBL last year, we actually lost to free agency because I just didn't want to spend $20+ million to sign him because I didn't think he'd be nearly as good in the majors.
That was Matt Boyd?
Exactly.
Did you give him a qualifying offer?
What's that?
Did you give him a qualifying offer?
I did. So he was the only guy I gave a qualifying offer to out of my 3 free agents where that was an option, and I did that so that we get the compensation. So we'll see once he signs with somebody and it pisses off all my fans what kind of compensation we get. So I'll tell you a couple things, Pat. In terms of free agency, I have just done a few things already. We have $36 million. Okay. So I have a lot of minor league options out to people who are in positions where I want to have some more options coming into spring training and then to kind of stockpile the minor league system a bit.
Sure.
So there's that. And I also made one offer because I have some room in my outfield. I have center field pretty nailed down and I have left field nailed down. So I wanted somebody else to come in and play some solid defense in right field, but with a better bat than Michael Taylor, my current right fielder. So
Margot,
Say that again?
So Manuel Margot is your guy?
Yes, because he's still relatively young, really solid on defense, a little bit more upside on the bat, not too expensive. He's put up back-to-back good seasons in Colorado. I realize he's going to hit well playing in Colorado, but I like the fact that he had some home runs and drove in some runs. His OPS plus this past year was not very good. So I'll show you, though, what I'm getting him for. And you can tell me if I should just not negotiate with him further. I thought about actually I could just not pursue it if he gets other offers from teams. But we offered him 3 years, and it's $11.7 million over the 3 years. So it's just under $4 million a year. Pretty
that seems fine.
So,
that seems reasonable if that's the guy you want.
Well, I'll show you why else I don't want to have. Here's what else I'm thinking. I need to spend a lot of money on starting pitching. I thought if I get him in the outfield, he'll play good defense, probably be a better bat than Michael Taylor. Taylor can be a backup. I'm going to have Billy Hamilton back in the picture, so that's probably my 5 outfielders. Right. But then I have a really big prospect who is an outfielder, and he's only 20, but he's been putting up really good numbers. And he's right here.
Oh, Zach Veen? Yeah.
Yeah. Actually, I should say not so much his numbers, which have been good, but his ratings relative to Major League Baseball are already pretty solid, and to the point where this season I'm going to start him in AA, but he may quickly get called up.
Right.
So he wasn't great in 25 games in AA after I brought him up from A ball last year, but I'm going to put him into spring training. Hopefully he does really well. I have a feeling I'll send him to the minors unless he just is ridiculous. But I think either way, at 20 years old, I'm sending him to the minors, at least to start the season.
Sure.
But he's somebody who I think could be up. So that's why I was kind of going for short-term deal, somebody with a bigger bat than Taylor, who I could also unload if I decide it's not the direction I want to go. I think a guy on a contract for just under $4 million a year is somebody that for only 3 years and still 28 years old is somebody I can probably unload if I need to.
Right.
So that's what I'm going there. Now, let's look at the pitching, because starting pitching is really where I need some help. So
can I say, I just want to say that I never knew you could get to the free agents page the way you just went there. That's it's funny how there are different ways to, because you get in like your habits of navigating different menus different ways in the game.
Yeah.
I just do it the same way every time. I've never gone that way.
I always pull it down from the general manager options. How do you get there?
I go to like MLB and then transactions.
Oh, I see. Okay, cool.
Yeah.
So here, let's go out just to the default screen so you can see kind of who the big names are and what they're demanding.
Are these starters, or we're looking at relievers too here, right?
Yeah, right now I can just trim it down to starters, but so I mean DeGrom and Clevenger at $40 million a season, and at the ages they are, and I think they both want lengthy deals. They're not in my league. I cannot go after those guys.
Right.
So then you have Matthew Boyd. He was fantastic for me last year, but there's no way, unless he has some, I don't know, unless at 31 years old he really has come into his own. I just don't see how he's going to be a $20 million a year major league player based on the numbers he put up in the majors for me 2 years ago. And then he wants all this money because he just had an amazing year down in the Premier League.
Right, which for anybody who hasn't watched before, they're affiliated, so players are going to demand a major league caliber salary based off of whichever league they're in. But doing well in the PBL, the relegation league, obviously doesn't mean he's going to do that well in the major league. So yeah, he's not a $20 million major league pitcher. He's probably a $20 million PBL pitcher.
Right. So you'll see I'm kind of thinking a couple different things. I need a few starters.
Right.
And I've thought, do I go out and just try to get like the best 2 starters I can and spend most of my $36 million on that? Or what I've also, and I don't know if there are guys like that right now, really, because a lot of the guys in the top here are in their 30s.
Right.
But what I have started doing also is you'll see the guys in with their names in all caps that I've shortlisted, because I just started to look at some of the guys who are available that have either come off good seasons or still have some pretty strong ratings and look affordable. I don't know if I'll go for Jameson here because he's fragile and he's on the more expensive side. But like Musgrove for $8 million, Fulmer for $6 million, Jordan Montgomery is another guy, 1.3 million, Lopez 1.2 million. So I've been looking at those sorts of guys.
What about Severino?
See, I looked at him definitely, but he's 11.3 million, which is fine, but he's fragile. Yeah. And I can't remember. I think I looked at his injury history. Let me see what it was about him. So it was this injury in May, the torn labrum, and the fact that he's now fragile that made me worry a little bit about him.
Yeah.
So I could take a chance on him.
How many years does he want?
Great question. I don't remember. 5. So I might be able to get him 3 or 4 seasons. I don't know. We'll see.
Yeah, 5 with an option year. I bet you could get him 3 with the third year being an option year, maybe. And then money's not crazy. He's really good.
Yeah, he is really good. And if he stays healthy, I think it would be more than worth it.
Oh, for sure.
So, like, he could potentially, I mean, on my team, he could almost become my number 1 starter if he did well. But,
I'd say he'd be your number 1 starter by a mile, right?
Right. And, I mean, depending on who we sign and who.
So how much did he end up pitching last year? Can you go to his pitching stats?
Yep.
We do just MLB or whatever, so it takes out like the rehab and all that crap.
Yeah, but there he is. He only pitched 14 games.
We go to the league scope at the top and hit just MLB.
Yep. So he hasn't. Look at how many seasons in a row he's not thrown a lot of games.
Right. It's probably why he's so cheap for how good he could be.
Right. If he can get back to those numbers that he had in 17 or 18, those are fantastic. So I don't know. I had some hesitation around him, but he might be worth the risk.
And then Tyone, you were saying because he's fragile, you're thinking of not signing him?
Yeah, he was another guy who was kind of having the same debate. And I forget what his injuries were. I don't think he had anything.
You can look at it. If you go to his profile, you can click just injury history if you go to the main profile.
Oh, I see. You're right. Forgot about that. So he had Tommy John surgery back in March of 2020.
Yeah. That was a real life thing.
And he did okay for Pittsburgh in 21 and Boston in 22. Not great.
Well, I think the ERAs in your league are quite high because 5.38 and his ERA plus was 93. So it wasn't that bad relative to the league.
Yeah, he wasn't far off the league average with a not great ERA.
Did you change do you have to leave like the offense settings alone? You just have it on whatever the default is?
I left them alone, which means they're probably ballooning, right?
Yeah, you'll get some crazy offense, yeah.
That's okay. That'll be fun for a little while. So, yeah, he's a possibility.
And then Fulmer was another guy who looked kind of interesting.
And same thing with new San Diego Padre in real life, Joe Musgrove.
Yeah, San Diego legend.
So he doesn't want a lot. What is he, $8 million a year? Yeah. He wants a long deal. He's 29. He wants 8 years, $8 million. You know, I don't know if I could get him for 5 or 6, but not 5 or 6 million, but 5 or 6 seasons at $8 million, or maybe go a little higher. So, yeah, so there are other possible players. You're right, bad Mexican cinema. There are other possible players who are not so fragile-y.
Fragile.
You're right. Fragile. Yes. And then Stronghold CC. Thanks for catching us live, and you've been catching the recordings. Thanks for your comments.
So what about can we look at Fulmer real quick? What's his deal?
Of course we can, GM Pat.
Thanks.
So he did not have a great. Yeah, I looked at him. He did not have a great year last year with Detroit. Although it's funny. He's another one where by ERA plus he was not that far off from average. I guess just because of the nature of hitting in the majors right now.
Right. He really doesn't strike anybody out. Oh, the Fragile is a reference to A Christmas Story in the leg lamp.
Got it. Okay.
I remember the leg lamp. I don't remember the Fragile.
I've never watched it.
It's funny. I watched it this year I'd seen bits and pieces. I saw the whole thing start to finish this year for the first time.
It definitely has a cult following, and I just, for whatever reason, I never got
It's worth watching.
To it. So here's Michael the Plumber Fulmer's contract request. So I might be able to trim a year or two off that, and it's reasonable money.
Stronghold said his homer. I didn't see what his home runs per 9 was, but he said they went way up.
Okay. Oh, to 1.7 from 1.1. And that maybe have been a Major League Baseball issue too, not just
right.
And then and there are other guys in here. I just was going through looking at guys who's,
Will you sort by the overall rating?
Sure.
Yeah.
David Price wants a ton of money.
I think what's going on with Jordan Montgomery?
Yeah, he was one I shortlisted too. Look at that, 1.3 million.
Right.
Like, I feel like I don't even need to think about this. I should just sign him, just to have an arm for 1.3 million. And actually, look at his numbers were better than some of the other guys we're looking at.
Yeah, the BABIP led the league, so he was pretty lucky this year. But there aren't a lot of guys.
Oh, this was another thing about Jordan Montgomery that was cool. Is 1 year, 1.3 million.
Right.
So I could just do it, and what's the worst thing that can happen?
Sure. What will you go back to the list for a second? A lot of these guys, their strikeout totals are really low for some reason.
Huh.
Will you go to instead of the default, go to the pitching ratings?
Yeah, ratings or stats?
Ratings.
Okay.
And sort by stuff. Yeah, okay. Stronghold is wondering if Montgomery's still arbitration eligible.
So yeah, Fulmer and Montgomery look like they are good value. I agree. Barry says get Zephs with it. Yeah, where is?
I don't know, man. I think we can look at Montgomery in a second, but I don't know. Honestly, I'd probably try for Severino for sure.
Yeah. All right.
At only 11 million, it might blow up in your face, but he also might be like a top 20 starter in the league. And I feel like that's worth the risk for $11 million.
Yeah.
I wonder if you could try a Severino, Fulmer, Montgomery combo. You could probably get them all for like 20 million, man. Like a little over 20 million, maybe.
Severino, Fulmer, Montgomery. Yeah, that's true. And I could still try to grab one other.
Right.
And I do have some guys down in, the minors who are interesting. They're going to get a shot in spring training. And I might need a little work on the bullpen, but not sure just yet. I have a couple of good.
I don't know. Those are the guys I'd probably offer.
Fulmer, Montgomery, Severino.
Yeah.
Cool. Yeah, some of my – so I have – well, this guy Luis Castillo is didn't have a great season, but –
Can you take the comment off of there so I can see it?
Oh, yeah, sure.
That's not Cincinnati Reds and fake Orioles legend Luis Castillo, right? That's some other Luis Castillo, I guess.
Yeah, I don't think so. This is a guy who I got as an international free agent in the offseason.
Oh, nice.
This guy's one of my big prospects, and he hasn't pitched at AAA yet, but look at what he just did in AA this year.
Right. And PBL AA, right? Yeah.
Yeah, exactly. So I'm going to give him a shot in spring training. He could be – I kind of want to start him at AAA.
Yeah, I wouldn't be looking to rush him.
So – but he's 25, so at some point soon he's got to do something.
Right. So go to your pitching rotation now? Like how many of these dudes are we okay with being in the rotation?
Oh, yeah. I mean, some of them are okay. Like Lewis Thorpe has
he's pretty
good ratings, actually.
Yeah.
And did well last year in the PBL.
Right.
And did okay in limited action the year before in MLB.
Right. Yeah.
So I feel good about Lewis Thorpe being in the rotation, not as number one starter, but in the rotation.
Yeah, I agree.
Oops, hang on. It's not. Why doesn't it just scroll through my rotation when I do that? Here's Luis Castillo, the guy we just talked about, who I got as a free agent last year, and it was his first year in the league. He's still young at 24. He wasn't great, but I like his ratings.
Wait, why is this so? This guy's the number 8 prospect, but it's not the other Luis Castillo? Or am I confusing? Is this Luis Castillo you just showed me as a prospect?
Yes.
Oh, okay. Gotcha.
So I like the looks of this guy. We'll see how he does in his second season.
Right.
Dakota Chalmers is another guy who may ultimately be a bullpen guy.
Yeah, I think so for sure. With those 3 pitches and that stuff, he could be probably a pretty good reliever.
I think so too. But he did pretty well for me. Look at what he did last year for me as a starter in 23 games in the PBL.
Right.
So he's definitely a part of my team. Connor Menez was injured last year. But he had been decent for me the year we were up in the majors in 21.
Right.
There are those numbers, 127 ERA plus. Didn't give up a lot of home runs. This last year he was injured, and so he only got 12 starts for my big team and also did pretty well.
Right.
So he's another guy who's in the runnings. This guy is just the guy that my manager popped in after we didn't re-sign our free agent. I'm blanking on his name now. Boyd.
Right. All right, let's see him.
So this is a guy who hasn't started before.
Yeah.
But who was decent last year in 32 games in relief in the PBL.
Right. I think you might want to sign 4 starters. Because you're going to have injuries probably.
Yep. Here's another guy who can start.
Right.
I'm with you. I think I need a lot of starter help because none of these guys, they weren't, even if they had a good season, it wasn't in Major League Baseball last year.
Yeah. I'd almost sign like those three that all, if you can get them on reasonable term, and then kind of wait like a few weeks to see who doesn't sign, to see if anybody's price comes down for like the next guy.
Yeah. And then I got to figure out bullpen. I'm real happy here with my closer.
Yeah, but when you sign starters, some of those pitchers will get pushed to the bullpen. Like
Exactly.
Chalmers is a good reliever.
Yep. This guy's a really good reliever.
Yep.
Aaron Fletcher's a good lefty.
Mm-hmm.
I just showed you this guy. This guy here I'm not sure about just yet. His stuff isn't great, but has really good control.
Right.
Did not do well when I called him up, but had been doing well in 41 games pitching down in PBL AAA.
Sure.
And was good the year before also.
Okay.
He's only 24. I think he has a couple of option years left. Ideally, he doesn't make the team. Even though he's been at AAA for 2 years in a row, I'm not sure about him yet. We'll see how he does in spring training. I hope I have enough depth that I don't have to have him.
Right. I'm with you on that.
So some of those guys will get bumped. We'll see. I may want one other really good reliever, because if these two, Kimbrel and Hernandez, are my closer and eighth inning guy, I might want a different guy than Fletcher for the seventh, and Fletcher to be a lefty specialist and a middle reliever. We'll see. I think he's good enough. I could use him as a seventh inning setup guy though.
Yeah, he's okay.
So, but I'd like somebody who's a little more solid there.
Right.
And then I can show you the offense a little bit too, unless you want to look at more pitching stuff.
No, let's see it.
So with these guys, Hedges, I'm set with Hedges as my catcher. I've put out some minor league contract offers to some catchers with some solid catcher ability numbers, and I'll find somebody to be a backup. My backup last year was Castro, and I let him go in free agency because he wasn't happy being a backup. Okay. So I let him go. I've got Lowe at first base, and I'm happy with him. He was a rookie the year I was in the majors. He did well last year in the PBL, and then I'm interested to see what he does this year. So he's my first baseman. He's still young. He's only 24.
All right.
Peraza had a great season. He had a breakout year as my second baseman. And he was up with me in the majors as kind of a backup infielder 2 years ago, and then did really well this past year. So he's my second baseman to start the season.
Okay.
Third base, I have a combination of things happening over there. I've got this guy who was a Rule 5 draft pick last year. I could send him back to AAA now that he's stayed on my roster the whole year in the Rule 5 year. Or keep him up as a backup. I've thought about signing somebody else at third base, but I haven't seen anybody great there that I'm interested in for the right price. Simmons has not been good for me, but he can play. He has a great arm.
Wow. Even his defense totally tanked.
Yeah, he had an injury. He was out. Was it something? I thought he had something more. Oh, it was this one, the torn ankle ligaments. He was out for 7 weeks, and I don't think he was very good after that.
Oh, man, that's strange. In my sim, he stayed an elite shortstop through his mid to late 30s, I feel like.
So I'm thinking about playing him at third to see if he can have a bounce back, but he might not. I mean, his bat.
Yeah, he doesn't really look like he's got much left.
No, he almost looks done.
Yeah.
And then I have another guy who was a third baseman for me last year who is injured.
Yeah.
And he did pretty well the year we were in the majors and did pretty well this past year before his injury. So he's a possible third baseman too. I think he's actually my best option at third base right now, I think, depending on if I want to go with the young guy or what I might want to do with Simmons. But I think he might be my guy.
Right.
So there's a little bit of a question mark there. I'm feeling good about shortstop. I got Iglesias there. He's real solid defensively, has hit really well for me since coming over a couple years ago. He did well for me in the majors. He did well for me last year in the PBL. I mean, not amazing, but has a very good bat for somebody with such an amazing glove at shortstop.
Right. Yeah, you're pretty set with him there.
So feeling good about that. And then outfield,
we've got
Torque had a really good year. Feeling good about that. So he wasn't great in a limited number of games the year before in the majors, but then did very well last year in the PBL. So he's my left fielder.
Okay.
Center field is going to be Rosario, but then Billy Hamilton's going to be coming back after basically missing 2 seasons in a row.
With injuries?
Yeah. So he played 3 games in 21, no games in 22.
What was injuries?
His defense is still pretty good, but not like it used to be, I don't think.
Oh, no, not at all.
So he had some bad injuries.
What did he do?
It was this knee ligament.
Tore his PCL, and he missed 19 months with 2 setbacks. Jeez.
Yeah.
What? So, yeah, his fielding is like tanked.
Yeah, the error rating is still up there. That's about it. His range is way down.
Yeah.
He's not going to be a starter for me if he's on the team.
Right.
So I'm going to go with Rosario out there, who had a pretty good season last year, and he's still only 23. I'm hoping his bat develops a little more this season.
Right.
But I can count on him for good defense out there. And then where I was, looking to maybe sign somebody was right field. Taylor's really strong out there defensively. I've even thought about putting Taylor in center some of the time.
I think Taylor and maybe even Margot might be better center fielders than Rosario.
Defensively, right?
Yeah.
I think so too, because Rosario's range is not that great. I've thought about he stepped in after the Hamilton injury, and I've thought about moving him to a corner outfield position.
Yeah.
Because I like having a guy who's, especially with the range in center field, who's higher than a 65. I want to see blue there, not green.
Sure.
So, yeah, I've thought about Taylor there. This guy was a Rule 5 pick who's strong enough on defense to be a corner outfielder, but he hit really well for me last year.
Yeah.
So he'll be on the team. The other guys are just some backups for now who may not be on the team. This is a guy who I didn't expect much out of, but he was tearing it up in AAA, and I brought him up when I had some injuries. He's not a long-term guy. So I think I have a question on this side of things. I have a question mark at third base, and then I kind of have to figure out the outfield.
How you want it aligned. Yeah.
Torque is the only one who I feel like in the outfield I'm definitely set on.
Right.
And Taylor's going to have a spot somewhere. Ideally, Taylor would be a great 4th outfielder, a defensive replacement who could play anywhere.
Sure.
But, yeah, I did have the same thought you did. After seeing the way Billy Hamilton's ratings tanked and not feeling like Rosario's range was enough, I thought about putting Taylor there. Or Margot could come in and play there.
Right.
So, yeah, when if I'm honest about it, I don't know that my lineup is going to be what it needs to be for the majors.
Yeah, I mean,
it doesn't have to win a championship. It just needs to not get relegated.
Who are like the best hitters out there?
Let's just go to default first, and I'll just sort by overall for the batters. So I thought about Bogarts, but he wants a lot of money.
I'm sure, yeah.
23 million, because I thought about him to solve my third base problem. Because I could stick him there. He has, I think if I remember right, when I looked at him, he has a really good arm. Yeah. So he doesn't really have the range I'd want for a shortstop.
Right.
And his arm's too good to waste on second base, and he's not great at turning the double play. I think he would be a really good third baseman.
Yeah. I mean, I know you got a lot of outfitters. What's Benintendi's deal? How good was he last year? A bit of a down year.
Yeah.
It's probably why he doesn't want much money. He's pretty good.
Yeah, I like his bat, and I don't like him for defense in the outfield, but
yeah, he'd be fine in a corner, but yeah.
Alberto was another guy I was thinking about for the infield, but he doesn't have a strong enough arm for me to be an everyday third baseman.
Right.
And I'd like a little bit bigger bat there. He had a pretty good year last year, but he doesn't hit with a lot of power.
Right. Yeah, pass on him.
So, yeah, Benintendi's an option. I just don't want to spend $23 million out of, on Bogarts, then I wouldn't be able to get the starting pitchers I need.
Right. What's Inciarte's deal?
Yeah, let me see his defense, because he's cheap. I think
he should be a good fielder, I think. No, not amazing.
Yeah. I think I looked at him and just determined he wasn't really much better in the field than some of the options I already have.
Right. Agree.
Oh, Polanco was a guy I thought about. He doesn't want a lot, 2.4 million, but yeah, I thought he was a better fielder than this.
Oh, he was in Baltimore, huh?
Yeah.
Oh wow, Trey Turner didn't pan out for the Nets, huh? Only wants $9 million.
Yeah, here he is. I thought his defense would be better.
Yeah.
Great speed, but not really a guy I'm going to put at second, short, or third. I mean,
I'd probably hold off on the offense for now and just go try to sign 3 of those pitchers and then kind of see where you're at.
Yeah. And then see if some people's prices drop. I've got 2 other things that I have as options too. One is I expect there'll be somebody I want in the Rule 5 draft again.
Right.
And then there's the waiver wire. So I'm really going to look, depending on how things are going with free agency. I don't know who I'll have signed by the time the Rule 5 gets here. It's only a few weeks away, but I'm going to look at either pitchers or third baseman and outfielders in the Rule 5. I might even, I've still got the kind of a roster where I could grab a couple guys in the Rule 5 and have room for them.
Sure.
The problem with the Rule 5 is that most of the time the guys I'm taking that look really good, they still need a season or 2 before they're going to be where I need them to be, which worked fine last year when I was playing down in the Premier League, because it was basically like giving them a year at AAA.
Right.
But now I'm back up. I don't want the situation I had 2 years ago when I got relegated, where I had Lowe and a couple other guys in the lineup, and I was really depending on them, and they just weren't quite Major League ready, even though Lowe did fairly well.
So what do you want to – you going to put a couple offers out there?
To the pitchers?
Yeah.
Yeah, you want to do some negotiations here real quick?
Let's do it.
All right, so I think we figured we're going to do Severino, Fulmer, and Montgomery to start, right?
I think so. Now check one thing though.
Okay.
Go to Severino. Just make sure none of them were given qualifying offers. Go to where you negotiate his contract.
Oh, where I lose draft picks.
Yeah, but go to offer contract and it'll tell you. On the left-hand side, scroll all the way down in that bottom box.
May result in the loss of a draft pick.
Yeah. So I think it used to be you lost your first pick, but I think MLB changed it now. I think it's your second highest pick in the draft you lose.
Yeah, that could be. I mean, I'm going to have 2 first-round picks at least because I'll get the 5th overall pick as compensation for not signing my first-round pick last year.
Right.
And then I'll have my own first-round pick, which won't be very good because we had a good season where we won it all and we had one of the best winning percentages.
Right.
And then I don't know what kind of a compensation pick I'll get for Boyd.
Oh, right. I forgot you'll get one back. So basically, if you signed Severino and lost Boyd, like in some ways you'd like break even.
It'd be like trading Boyd for Severino.
Right.
Yeah, which I think we'd both do. So, and Barry was asking any trade options for shortstop. I'm not sure. I'll have to look. Actually, I'm pretty happy with shortstop because of Iglesias. It's third where I have 3 guys and none of them are anybody to get too excited about. So I could maybe trade for somebody there. But I like Iglesias with his glove at short a lot and a decent bat for average at least. Oh, you mean third base. Now you tell us, Barry. Yeah. I was wondering if maybe you meant third base. I'll look around. I'm sure there's some people out there. Either I'll look on the trade block and then I'll use the pfholden tactic where I'll go look at who everybody's top third baseman is and their biggest prospect. What is the list you look at for that? I don't know if I remember how to find that, Pat.
Are you talking about the Make This Work Now?
No, you do this thing where when you're hunting for a guy, like say you need a new second baseman, there's the one report where it'll show you everybody's
the strength overview.
Yeah, is that under reports and info?
I do it under transactions and you go to trades. It might be somewhere else though too. And then player trade and strength overview, yeah.
Yeah, there we go. Okay. So we could take a look at this for third baseman. Like, for example, Chicago has looks like a pretty good prospect and a pretty good third baseman. So, yeah, I could just look through and see if there's anybody out there with, somebody they might want to move because they've got a prospect coming up. Right. Or I could try and go get the prospect. So, all right, well, let's look and make sure those other pitchers that we're going to make offers to, that they don't have compensation requirements.
Yeah, I'd be surprised if they do.
Same here. Nope. Not on Fulmer, the plumber. And then let's check Montgomery. Montgomery's so inexpensive. I don't understand.
Go to his go back one page.
Okay.
And scroll down on the bottom middle thing and see, is he still arbitration eligible or no? It looks like he's not. All right, gotcha.
I don't know why he's so inexpensive.
Yeah, I mean, I'd just offer him like 1.1 or something.
Yeah. All right. Submitted that one. Now let's do Fulmer. I feel like he wanted a lot of years. Oh, the other guy I was thinking about was Musgrove. So he could be the fourth. We talked about maybe signing 4 pitchers.
Right.
So, yeah, I don't like how many years he wants, and one of them's an option.
Try it for 3 years or something.
4 and an option.
I'd do
3
2.
and no option.
Sure.
And then I'll probably want to bump some of this money up. But I could see what kind of a response I get first.
I think you could try to bump it down a little first.
Okay. Even though we've taken a bunch of years off?
Yeah. Just like a few $100,000 each year.
Yeah, how's that look? I took 200 off.
Yeah, try it.
Good news and bad news. Okay.
Well, is he willing to do that fourth? Maybe he's willing to do that 4th year as a team option year.
And then I wonder if we can get him to take a couple hundred off each year again still.
Why don't you do $5 million?
And I'll leave.
And you got to do a buyout on that
I'll make the option year worth a little more. Okay. What kind of a buyout would you do here?
I'm going to try to hit like 1 million. That's more than they normally ask for. So percentage-wise. So try that. See if that'll tempt him.
Okay. How's this look? Oh, we just lost it. Hold on.
What happened there?
I don't know what just happened. Okay, so we wanted team option. We're going to make this 1 million. We're going to go down here. And I was going to take this up a bit. Okay, cool?
Yeah, try it.
All right. Submit that. And then let's go check out Severino.
Yeah,
we still have $30 million to spend.
Yeah.
So I like to do
think
that.
It's worth making a run at him. I can't remember what it is now in Major League versus out of the park in terms of what you'll lose for him, because it's been so long. I never sign. I don't think I've signed a guy in my current sim. I haven't done it since Out of the Park 20, where I signed a guy who it was a compensation pick.
Got it. Here's another guy I was thinking about. But he didn't have a great year, but
I think you go for Severino and then see who falls through the cracks, honestly.
I'm tempted to go out and try for Musgrove too.
Yeah.
He hasn't been great the last 2 years, though. 2 in a row.
He's been okay, yeah.
All right, let's try Severino. Okay, so he's 28 years old. He wants a 5-year deal. I'm going to see if I'm thinking of seeing if we can just do 3 or 4 years. I don't mind having him for a few years because he's only 28. It's just a question of how good he's going to be.
I say try him for 4 years, $40 million, and make the last year a team option instead of a player. That's where I'd start. I think he might take something like that.
And you do 10 a year?
Yeah.
Okay.
Just use the use for all button.
Oh, you're right.
And then
what kind of a buyout?
Just make it like 1.5.
Okay, how's this looking?
I think he'll be interested in that for sure. Oh, wow.
So what if we do the same deal we just did, except 11 million instead of 10 million every year?
Sure, try it.
And then you think we can try the team instead of the player again?
Yeah, and don't you want to do 4 years?
We could.
Yeah, I say try 4. And make the team option year like 14 million or something. Make it more.
Okay.
And then
14 million?
Yeah, and then make the buyout like 2 million or something.
Okay, let's see what he does. All right, decent offer. Cool.
We'll see. Yeah, we'll see if any of those dudes get back to you anytime soon.
And I still have 19 million to mess with.
Right.
So I could try to spend 8 million, maybe get him for 7 on Musgrove.
Yeah, you might be able to get somebody just as good or, good enough for much cheaper once their prices drop a little bit.
Right, if I wait a little bit. And then I could do the same approach for looking to maybe fill some of those offensive holes, either third base or an outfielder. And I could take the approach that if I can find somebody cheap and still get a pitcher for the 19 million, I can grab them. If not, that's a good thing to target in the Rule 5 or the waiver wire.
Right.
And I can always look to make some trades too.
Do you want to go forward just to like next week to see if anybody gets back to you, or do you have other things you want to do on this day?
I don't think I have anything else I need to do right now.
All right, let's just see if anybody hits you back.
Oh, I need to activate this guy. This sucks. Here's some news. They voted to change the 40-man roster to 38.
Yeah, I'd be overruling that.
So I got to ditch somebody here.
No, you don't. You only have 32 guys on it.
Oh, you're right, because of my free agents. I forgot. I had been right at 38. So
yeah, dude, that sucks. I'd put it back to 40.
Yeah. So I thought Will Smith was done, but I guess he's injured. How long do I have? Oh, I have him through 2023. So he's another guy who will be back in my bullpen.
Okay.
And he's hopefully he's still good when he comes back. He had a torn flexor tendon.
Right.
But he has strong ratings, so we'll see. Am I going to have to move him too?
Yes.
Yeah. Because it was what I didn't read the message the first time. It was just that I can't have him there on the DL on the offseason. Is that what they were telling me? Right. It wasn't that the first guy's injury was over.
Right.
So. And everybody can get another look at how the Cleveland Indians won the World Series 4-1 over the Mets.
Well, the Angels went deep again. Fulmer gave you an update.
Yeah. He's impressed. Cool. And I do need to make another offer to my trainer here. This guy's a better trainer than the one I have.
Yeah, he looks good.
He's the best option out there. So 5 years, 420. How much do you negotiate with these guys when you're doing like a trainer?
I mean, I just give it. If he's the guy you want, that's a really reasonable price.
Yeah, so let's try to just get him. I have to go forward a little bit longer. We don't have anything else new.
Yeah. The winter meetings will be in a couple weeks, right?
Yeah. Do you do anything special at the winter meetings?
Not really. I mean, it looks like you got some minor league guys signed, it looks like.
Yeah, just a couple. So some guys with some good catcher ability. This guy's only 20. He's only 22. All right, see you, Bad Mexican Cinema. Thanks for coming by the stream. Appreciate it.
But you got a Fulmer update, more importantly.
Yeah, here's another guy I got for his catcher ability.
Cool.
I just like to have a few options in the minors so you don't have to run out and trade if you have some catcher injuries. So what's Fulmer talking about? He's got another offer from Jacksonville. Really, dude? You want to go play in the PBL? Is that what you want? So he wants more years. And yeah, I don't know. I can't remember what we offered him before.
It was the 3-year deal, I think.
So maybe I can get. He wants 6. Maybe I can get him down to 4.
Yeah. Oh, his money went way up too.
Yeah, I felt like he was. No, was he around 8?
No, I think you offered him 4, 5, and 6 for the 3 years.
Okay.
I don't know, man.
How high we want to go on this guy.
Why don't you see what he says for like 7 per year or something?
Yeah.
If you want him.
Okay, let's see what he says.
In the house.
What's that?
Andrew Zephyrs in the house.
What's up, Andrew? Okay, so he says fair enough. So we'll try this again.
Cool.
And then just sim up a little bit and see what happens.
Yeah, go to see it just next week or something.
I want to respect your time, GM Pat. I know you wanted to get off.
Yeah, I'm going to hop off here in a minute.
So cool. Yeah, let's see what happens, and then I'll shut this thing down till next time. And what I'll probably do is I'll give everybody, if anything big happens, maybe I'll stream sooner. But otherwise, I will probably sim up till at least spring training, or maybe get through spring training and do another update, which won't take long. I'll be quick. All right, so let's see what were our.
And you got to delete your messages sometime.
What's that?
I said delete them all. Delete them at some point. Yeah. What's Severino saying?
So he's impressed.
So he's impressed.
Cool.
And you're the only interested team listed, so that's good.
That is good. Yeah. Okay. And this was another guy I got, just a minor league free agent, who's only 22.
Cool.
So I'm still trying to just stock the farm system. Basically, with such a new team.
Right.
So, all right. You want to sim one more time?
Sure. It's going to take you up to the meetings, I think, on the 11th.
Oh, okay. All right, we got our trainer. Big news, everybody. That actually is big news because we needed a better trainer.
Who signed with the Rays?
What, Snell re-signed? Is that what just happened?
Oh, wow. 6 years, $158 million. Good Lord. Very Rays-like.
I didn't see him available.
No, I think it was an extension.
Yeah, I think so. Because we would have definitely talked about him. He would have been up at the top of that list.
Yeah, it said extend his stay. So, yeah.
Okay. All right, well, I'll keep you posted on what happens. Yeah, I've got the winter meetings coming up on the 11th. So if you try to reach me that day, you can text, but I can't guarantee I'll be able to.
Right, you'll be in a lot of conference rooms.
I can't guarantee I'll be able to get back to you right away. Yeah, in conference rooms, that kind of stuff. Wearing masks.
I understand.
Yeah, the winter meetings will be much different this year. It might even be a Zoom call.
Right.
And then the Rule 5 draft is a few days later, which is still – that's one of the bigger events of the year for a new team like the Zephyrs.
That's right. That's where you get half your team.
Yeah, I've probably got 5 or 6 guys on my roster that have come from the Rule 5 draft.
Right.
And I imagine there'll be something out there this year to grab. So, hey, thanks for walking through this. And I hope this was helpful for people watching as they do their own free agency. And
let us know if you get Luis.
I will. I'll let you know if I get Luis and how it goes with the other pitchers. And then I'll see what I'm going to do with the rest of my money. And also, I'll be talking to some fellow GMs at the winter meetings. Maybe pull some deals.
Yeah, man.
So, all right. Well, thanks. Appreciate your help. Appreciate everybody watching. If you haven't subscribed yet, please hit subscribe down below. And I'll be back with some new videos here in the next few days. and got plenty of stuff you can watch over on pfholden's channel too.
Cool.
Oh, and one thing too, I wanted to tell everybody, if you haven't done it yet, you should definitely stop by the OOTP subreddit for an excellent discussion from a guy who it says, I rewrote MLB history. I'm going to post it in the comments here. And Pat and I were asking him some questions, and we were talking about this post earlier tonight. I'll let you check it out, but throwing it in the chat, he went back to 1800 something and just simmed every season of Major League Baseball to see how things would turn out differently. And there were big star players who weren't who they were. A-Rod is the home run champ. He answered a bunch of stuff in that thread. And then the last thing I'll say to you guys before I sign off is that I don't know if Mim is out there, one of our regular viewers and commenters, but he has a YouTube channel, and he did something awesome the other day where he put together a fake sports talk radio segment about the firing of our former manager, and went after me a little bit in it. So check that out too. Look for Mim's channel. I don't have the link in front of me, or I had it ready and now I don't see it. Let me see if I can find it real quick, and I'll try to drop it in. Here it is. I've got it now. Just give me a second. I'm going to drop this in and go check out his channel. He's also got a Chicago Cubs sim that he's doing from the 90s that you can check out. But look at this. Oh, Mim is in the house, actually. And I just posted a link to his fake sports talk radio show about my fake baseball team. We're getting real meta over here. Thanks, everybody. Appreciate it, GM Pat. Till next time, man. We'll see you soon. Go Zephs.